Wait, where is it? Oh. Whew. Whoa. Real YouTubers have the whole meta game changed. This is going to be a very interesting few weeks. We'll click back again to something. Okay, here we go. Good morning. It's noon. It's 1. Wow. Hello. So there it was. Reading official legal document, as I am a lawyist. And I do this for fun. Haha. No, just kidding. This is the Play Pokemon video game rules, formats, and penalty guidelines. Now you might notice something. The date of the last revision was June 17th. According to the sky, today is June 19th. We can tell by the clouds. So what does that mean? It means if we do some basic arithmetic, we can deduce that the rules must have updated 2 days ago. Now who cares? They're just rules. Rules are meant to be broken, right? Well, in this case, we don't have a choice and we have to follow them. So, I'm beating around the bush. Let's talk about what actually happened here. The rules are updated, and what that means is that we have the Series 5 rules. That's basically the VGC rules for the next 2 months going into effect on the month after the current month, which, according to my calculations, should be July 1st. So July 1st, the rules are going to change. Now, we did just have the Isle of Armor DLC. How does that impact the metagame? How does that impact the game, right? And when I see VGC, I'm talking about, of course, the tournaments we're going to be playing, such as the Champions Cup Stage 2 qualifiers for anyone who moved on in that, and also online doubles ladder. So even if you're not competing, this is still going to affect you if you play any kind of Pokemon online. At least doubles Pokemon online. Now a lot of this hasn't updated, right? Blah 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 blah. I think a lot of this is unchanged. This is the official document. However, if we go to series changes, we can find Series 5 will begin on 1 July 2020. That's soon. That's what I already said. Now let's talk about the Series 5 rule set. This is all new stuff. I don't know what the battle ready symbol is. I believe that's for. I think I know what that is actually. I don't want to spoil that part. I'll probably make a separate video on that. But for now, I'll move on. But yeah, basically your Pokemon is illegal. Blah blah blah. But here's where things get interesting. So this little line. There's one little paragraph here. This one line with a couple bullets and sub-bullets. So first of all, players may use Pokemon with the following Pokedex numbers, provided they were caught or hatched in the game or received in an official event or distribution. The first is Galar Pokedex numbers, number 1 through 397. That's what we've already been playing with. That's just the Galar Pokemon, right? But here's where things get interesting. The Isle of Armor Pokedex numbers, number 1 through 210. Spoilers going on, I'm going to talk about the Isle of Armor Pokemon. And then the last one is National Pokedex numbers, number 638 to 640, and then 722 to 730. So, things that we were already playing with. Galar Pokedex, that's not new. We've already been playing with that. Secondly, this is the entire Galar Pokedex minus the legendaries. Eternatus, Zacian, Zenta. National Pokedex numbers, number 722 to 730. These are the Alolan starters. We've already been playing with these. But what about, hey, Wolfey, what about these little guys? What are these guys? They're just 2 bullets. They can't have that much of an impact, right? Well, let's start with the easy stuff. Number 638 to 640 are Terrakion, Cobalion, and Virizion. I'm not sure if they're in that order, but I kind of doubt it because I feel like Terrakion should be last. The 3 Musketeers, aka the legendary ponies. No Keldeo, but the other 3 are here. So even if we just added those, it would have a pretty big impact, right? Very popular Pokemon right now are like Tyranitar and Togekiss, both of whom Terrakion matches up very favorably with. You also get a very, very, very dangerous beat-up strategy. You guys might remember that one of my first popular teams, when Sword and Shield first dropped, featured Whimsicott and beat up Lucario, and Terrakion is just Lucario if Lucario were like 10 times better. It's a significant increase. Like, it's actually, beat up Terrakion is a viable strategy in my opinion. It's significantly better than Lucario, and even Lucario was fine. So, yeah, do not underestimate Terrakion is my advice. So Terrakion changes things a bunch. But then we have this little bullet. These 7 characters, I guess 8 if you want to count the hashtag. The pound sign. 001 through 210. Okay, so we just got 210 Pokemon added. What does that mean? It's effectively the entire Isle of Armor Pokedex. So we got Galarian Slowbro, and here's where spoilers come into play. I'm going to spoil the whole dex for you. We got Blissey. Blissey and Chansey are actually somewhat viable. It has base 5 defense. That's so funny. I didn't realize it was that low. You can build a stupid team around Chansey if you want. Wigglytuff is okay at 1 a regional. Why is Orbeetle in the Isle of Armor decks? A lot of these Pokemon are repeats, but we got some big additions like Talonflame, Klefki I've used twice in tournament. Yeah, Alakazam isn't very good. So far, like 40 in, nothing crazy, right? Like a lot of repeat Pokemon, etc., etc. Drapion's not very good. Afrobol's not very good. Glicky's not very good. Goodra we already had. Druddigon I don't even know or care about. Escavalier we already had. Scoliped's okay, but then we start getting into some interesting Pokemon. For example, one of the greatest Pokemon of all time, Amoonguss, is added. If you were to add Amoonguss into a format that didn't have Amoonguss, it will always have an impact. Like a significant impact, in my opinion. It's a very, 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 very good Pokemon. Extremely good. They basically created an item specifically to counter Amoonguss. Comfey, potential. Pikachu, never before seen Pokemon. Zoroark is added, it's fine, not great. Right, so far only really Amoonguss is that impactful, and we're halfway through. It can't be that many more, right? Like I guess Talonflame. Oh, Urshifu. Well, okay, Urshifu is a legendary Pokemon. It's probably not going to be legal, right? Let's just go ahead and check our document one more time. Okay, where it says, okay, Isle of Armor Pokedex numbers number 1 through 210. Okay, but Urshifu is probably 101. Wait, 101. 01 through 200. 101, 200. Urshifu is legal. Now, here's the thing. So when I first saw Urshifu, I was like, no. No. That was my first impression. However, looking at it more, there's one thing about Urshifu that makes me hesitant about it. Okay, the stats overall, if we just ignore this one, I'll give you a spoiler, there's one little thing. I'll zoom in a little. There's one little column here. If we just ignore that, Urshifu looks terrifying. Good base HP, great base attack, good base defense, good base speed. Overall very strong and a great ability with two good typings. Well, one good typing and then you have Dark type Urshifu. But then we look at this little special defense stat and we realize, like, I mean, I'm not totally sure. I'm not saying Urshifu is bad or anything. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, like, when you consider the low special defense stat, I think it might not be broken. I think it's going to be very strong, don't get me wrong, but I'm not convinced it's going to be broken. Like, the special defense is so atrocious. Like, this is a very, very bad special defense stat. And when you consider, like, here's the thing you have to consider about Urshifu. What are our key... Redirection is a crucial part of the format right now, right? I don't think anyone would argue with that. Like, redirection is kind of king and has been king. Like, Togekiss is extremely popular. Clefairy's been big. And they just added Amoonguss, right? And when you think about those three Pokemon, or kind of our core redirectors, which are dominating the format, they have a very positive Urshifu matchup, right? You have Togekiss, who, you know, has fairy types, so it destroys... It's super breakable on both Urshifu, but it doesn't Gleamship one-shot Dark type Urshifu. You have Amoonguss, who, like, is very strong against Water type Urshifu, resisting both of its stabs, and also, yeah, it's just, like, a good support Pokemon that doesn't mind. Like, Amoonguss doesn't really care about getting hit through Protect, in my opinion. I mean, it does depending on the move, but not with, like, fighting. Like, a lot of the times, if you're, like, worried, you can always just Rage Pattern and redirect the Urshifu. So, yeah. And then we have Clefairy, who, like, really is not going to take a lot of damage, being physically bulky most of the time. And it won't take a ton of damage from Urshifu either. So, I think because we've already been playing with Redirection, we've already been playing with, like, I don't know, a lot of Intimidate users, like Incineroar and Arcanine have been big. Not saying that Urshifu is not good. I do think I expect it to have a lot of success, but I'm not as concerned as I initially was because of, number one, the metagame, and number two, the special defense stat. The special defense being low means basically, like, even if you're Dynamaxing it, you still don't want to be taking super effective hits. Like, you would easily get 2 or 3 hit KO'd, or 1 or 2 hit KO'd even, if you get hit with, like, a strong special attack, especially a Dynamax move while you're Dynamax. And there's ways around it, sure. Like, you might say, okay, Wolf just run an Assault Vest, but in order for Assault Vest to be most effective, you'd probably have to invest in your special defense stat. Because, you know, if Assault Vest is a 1.5 times multiplier, which means effectively, like, it's in order for you to get the most mileage, every point you put into your special defense is multiplied by 1.5. So if you just run regular Assault Vest Urshifu, you only have 120 special defense stat, right? So in order for it to actually get more mileage out of that and to get a more valuable 1.5 times multiplier, you know, you need to invest in your special defense, which means you're not investing in your HP, attack, and speed, right? I mean, you can invest in some of it, but yeah, like, would you run max HP, max special defense Urshifu with Assault Vest? Maybe, like, that could be good. I don't know. I don't even know, like, I don't even know the move pool of these Pokemon yet. So, all that to be say, like, I'm worried about Urshifu, but I'm less worried than I was when I actually consider, like, metagame and special defense specifically. Not saying it's not good. I do think it's good, but I don't think it's broken. Let's move on. Magnezone. They gave us back a Steel type. I'm really happy to have Magnezone back. It's a good Steel type counter with Magnet Pull. I've used it before. I like Magnezone a lot as a Pokemon. Now, I don't expect this Pokemon to be making huge waves. Again, when we think about the metagame, some things really work for Magnezone, right? Like, the positive matchup being a Steel type against Togekiss and Clefairy, like I mentioned, are both very good. Having Electric typing is nice as well. You can hit Togekiss on both sides, or like for both typings. You can hit Rhyperior for super effective damage, you can hit Primarina for super effective damage, you can hit Sylveon. But then we start thinking about the other Pokemon, which are like Tyranitar, who Magnezone doesn't really want to fight, despite the positive type matchup, because Tyranitar will learn Low Kick and do a ton of damage, and if you attack Tyranitar with Flash Cannon, like, they'll just, activate the weakness policy, and you have Excadrill is really popular, and Conkeldurr, and Dusclops, too, Magnezone can't really do anything to. I think Magnezone's okay. Like, I think on the right team, it could be very strong. I think on the wrong team, it would be very weak. I think it's probably, like, I'll make a tier list for all these Pokemon, so you guys know, like, have more of a general sense of like where I think they lie in relation to each other. But I do think Magnezone is a good addition. I don't expect it to get a ton of play, considering Durant, Excadrill are so popular. I don't expect it to get a ton of play, especially because the Steel type Pokemon that could trap with Magnet Pull, and you don't need to run Magnet Pull. Like Sturdy and Analytic are also good. Probably Sturdy would be my next choice. But the Steel type Pokemon you would trap with Magnezone. Wait, did Viera? I think Viera ran Analytic. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, the Steel type Pokemon you would trap with Magnezone like kind of have a favorable matchup, which is a little different than when I brought Magnezone to an international in 2017. I paired it with Politoed, and so what I would do is I would use Magnet Pull to lock in Celesteela, and then I would Encore the Celesteela into a non-threatening move, which was all of its moves effectively. Protect, Heavy Slam. If the rain was up, it was sub Magnezone as well with leftovers, so like you weren't even worried about Leech Seed, for example, with it. Or I would use Parasong and just KO it that way. So, yeah, unlike 2017, where, like, that's a use that I had for Magnezone, you can't really do that anymore because the Steel type Pokemon, like, you're going to trap Excadrill, but your Magnezone's not going to want to stay in there, And Durant run Stomping Tantrum. Anyway, let's move on. Sharpedo's not really a good addition. I love Stoutland. I will, at some point, probably try Stoutland for myself, at the very least. I've always liked Stoutland. I use it. I think it's a good support Pokemon. It probably doesn't really hold up realistically in the metagame. I beat a Stoutland to win my first Nationals ever in the finals, and I think ever since then I've had a lot of respect for it, and I actually lost to it. No, I beat it, but I beat it. Yeah, but there was a strategy called Dog and Candle, I think. I think it was the name of a pub in England. I'm not entirely sure. I don't remember exactly. A player named Dawes, who now commentates, used it, and I think it was his friend who I played at Worlds, and it was a good Trick Room counter. Sorry, you guys probably don't care about like this whole history stuff, but basically Stoutland would use Helping Hand in front of Scrafty and Cofagrigus, and then Chandelure would use Shadow Ball, and it would one-shot my Cofagrigus, and it was a problem. Like Stoutland at Nationals was like super bulky and used Thunder Wave, and it was just annoying. So I like Stoutland, good support Pokemon, good stats. I would definitely consider using this, but it's probably not very good. I wouldn't recommend it to you. Tauros is back. The Tauros and Crocodile spoilers are coming back. That means that we have some gimmicky anger point strategies back online, which is cool. Miltank is back. Not a great Pokemon. There was one famous weekend where like one guy built like a Miltank team, and I feel like 6 people or 5 people used it at like a regional or like different regionals across the weekend, and like nobody top cut. But Miltank is still like bulky and annoying, so maybe it's okay. Caesar's back. That's a big one. Caesar, very, very, very powerful Pokemon, at least back in the day. It's fallen off a lot. Again, I'm not sure if this will outperform. Like, I kind of don't expect this to outperform Durant or Excadrill personally. I love Scizor. I mean, when I won a national with it, and when I say with it, I mean it literally carried me to a nationals victory. Aaron Zeng as well also used effectively the same team. We had one Pokemon different, but yeah, we built the team together. We like chose different things, and yeah, Scizor was just incredible, like so powerful. But that was also back before we had a ton of Intimidate, and what we were doing was like just Swords Dance, like with Scizor when we had the chance, and then we had Steel Gem Bullet Punch, which one-shot Pokemon like Garchomp, and so you can't do that anymore. Intimidate's everywhere, and there's no Steel Gem, so I always love Scizor. I think it's a good Pokemon. I really like it. I have fond memories with it. I will always try and make it work, but the stats are kind of lacking. I'll scroll down a little so you can see the stats. Stats are a little bit lacking on the bulk, especially on the special side. Like, it's got fine stats, but I think the real thing is that Bullet Punch, which is its main selling point, in my opinion, like a Sword Dance Bullet Punch, just doesn't do as much as it needs to. Like, you need to be one-shotting things with that, and it doesn't. Pinsir's back, not very good. Heracross is back. Okay. I mean, it's never had much success in VGC, but it's popped up over the years. Without its Mega, it suffers a little bit, but I don't know. You could do some stuff with it. I don't think it's super favorable in the current metagame. Like, there's a lot of stuff for fighting types right now. Crustle, nobody cares about. Gliscopod, I don't even know if it was in the game already. But Kirchen, I think I mentioned that I think it could be okay, but that's mostly as like a niche pick, not as like a main staple. Now, Palossand you can't sleep on. I'm going to tell you right now, you cannot sleep on Palossand. This thing is legit. If you play against one, you should be afraid. Drifblim, whatever. Wishcash, whatever. Azumarill is very strong, right? Azumarill is a legitimate threat. I expect to see some Azumarill. I probably, now that I've seen every Pokemon, it's probably not S tier. Azumarill, such a good Pokemon. I don't know. Maybe it's S tier, but I would probably put it in the A tier personally if I was doing a tier list right now. It's very strong. It offers some like unique offensive prowess. You can also run an Assault Vest on it. I'm jury's out, I guess, on Azumarill. The redirecting fairies is annoying, and the spread moves are really bad for Azumarill, but it also has a lot of things going for it. Politoed, amazing addition. This changes a lot of things. The addition of a good range setter that's not... Well, the addition of any good range setter, especially one as good as Politoed, changes things significantly, in my opinion. And they also tricked out Politoed with some new moves, I believe, including but not limited to... Oh, I thought I got Ally Switch. Did I miss it? Okay, no Ally Switch. Well, maybe it didn't get any new moves, but it didn't... Like, honestly, I wouldn't run Ally Switch anyway, personally. It's still a very good Pokemon. So, yeah, Politoed's addition changes things a lot. Now we have a third viable weather, the 3 of the 3. Hail is never going to be viable, at least not with the current toolkit. I mean, I guess Alolan Ninetales, like, as a Techmon is good, but, yeah, like, you wouldn't run, like, a Hail team. You would run a Rain team or a Sun team or a Sand team. You wouldn't run a Hail team. Moving on, Skarmory. Lycanroc is back. I don't think it's super good. It doesn't have a huge impact. Mienshow's back, same thing. Kumo was already here. Alolan Sandslash is in the decks, not super good. Alolan Marowak is actually pretty big in my opinion. It's a very, very, very powerful Pokemon, and especially in a metagame with Dusclops, I think maybe you should consider Alolan Marowak. But it hits extremely hard. It also won Worlds. Brick Alolan Marowak won Worlds. Torkoal already here. Krookodile. Krookodile is a big addition. Krookodile is a good Pokemon in my opinion. It has a really favorable matchup against Tyranitar Excadrill teams. The matchup versus Togekiss isn't great. This is another Anger Point user though. And it also is like, it doesn't need to be like, I don't know, there's a lot of things you can do with Krookodile. In my opinion at least. Like, you can do it as an Intimidator user, you can use it as like an Anger Point user, which is interesting. There's a lot of things you can do with Krookodile. Especially with Dynamax. So I don't know. I think Krookodile is like being slept on right now, and I genuinely think it could be pretty strong. Moving on. Mandibuzz is already here. Volcarona. So I love Volcarona. Honestly, these Pokemon that were like phenomenal back in the day, I'm always gonna have a bias towards. I did actually try to relive Volcarona's glory days, and by bringing it to 2018 Nationals along with Aaron Trailer. Neither of us did very well though. Volcarona used to be extremely strong when paired with Hitmontop. Which is, yeah, it was called Top Moth. It was a very powerful combination. Effectively, Hitmontop bolsters Volcarona's low physical defense with Intimidate, supports it with Fake Out, and offers Wide Guard support for spread moves like Rock Slide, which are extremely problematic for Volcarona. And then Volcarona will Quiver Dance, and then you have Helping Hand and attack from there, and you can win the game. I don't think that the current metagame is especially favorable to Volcarona, I'll be honest. You have some problems with, like, Tyranitar Excadrill, you have some problems with Dynamax in general, meaning, like, you can't just fake out Quiver Dance in front of stuff. And Togekiss isn't a super good matchup either, because they can yawn you, and you really want to set up here. Flame Body's a great ability, not knocking Flame Body, I think it's very strong. You also don't have a super favorable Dragon Bolt matchup, especially when you consider they run Fly, so... Yeah, I mean, you can also run Volcarona as a Rage Powder bot. I believe that's how Baz used it when he Top Cut Worlds in 2016, so... Yeah, definitely a good Pokemon. Like, definitely a good Pokemon. Just maybe not a great Pokemon for the current metagame. Dragargle's back. I don't really have anything to say about that. Kingdra is another Rain Sweeper. They also gave it Hurricane. That's a big upgrade for Kingdra. Yeah, I'm unsure how good I think Kingdra is going to be in the long run. I like Kingdra. It's been very strong in the past. It outspeeds Dragon Bolt, which is nice, but they always pair Dragon Bolt with Togekiss anyway, so... Yeah, but this is definitely a good addition to Rain's toolkit, in my opinion. Lilligant is back. I hate Lilligant. I really don't like it. Wait, 210. Yeah, 2017 kind of scarred me. I don't think you'd ever run this over Venusaur, personally. Executor is back. That's amazing. I don't think Executor is going to be super good in the current meta with Dragapult, Togekiss, Tyranitar. It's just an unfortunate truth. Like, I will always try and make Executor work, but also... Yeah, and Incineroar. Like, Incineroar's addition really hurt Executor, and yeah, whenever there's, like, a U-turn user that's good, it's going to be a problem, so, like, Landorus, and also when, like, they're a prominent when there are enough prominent, like, dark or, like, Pokemon that Executor has significant weaknesses to, it becomes difficult. So, unfortunately, I don't think Executor is very good. Oh, yeah, we have Venusaur. It's, like, weak to everything in the metagame. If you pulled a Pokemon at random, Executor would probably be weak to it, which is unfortunate. And last but not least, Porygon 2 is back. Porygon 2 had extreme success in 2017, had some play in 2018 as well, if I recall correctly. Not a ton, but a little bit. It's the Dusclops Pokemon, but unlike Dusclops, it's a little less bulky, I think. Maybe it's more bulky, actually. It's just... Wait, is it more bulky than Dusclops? And it gets Recover, and it has abilities that are very strong. People were running Download just to get a special attack boost and then actually do some damage. It used to run Recover, Trick Room, and then 2 out of Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Toxic, Tri-Attack. I think... No. At first I was like, I felt like I ran Curse because I remember running Return in a tournament, but I was running Swagger Tapu Fini, so you could Swagger your Porygon and then use Return. Great move pool. Yeah, it gets Ally Switch as well. Eerie Impulse if you wanted to use that. Icy Wind. It's a very good Pokemon, and yeah, I mean Dusclops can't touch it traditionally. The removal of Toxic I think is overall healthy as well, so I'm happy with that. So that's it. There's a lot of Pokemon, as you can see, kind of from this video, like. There's a lot of Pokemon that are impacting a lot of the metagame. So not everything here is going to be super impactful. Like, a lot of them won't have an impact, but the few that do will, I think, significantly shake things up. Pokemon like Amoonguss, Pokemon like Porygon 2, Talonflame has an impact, Kingdra, Politoed. So many Pokemon have the ability just to kind of really change the way the game is played, even apart from all the new moves, which are also going to do something similar. So, long story short, I think the metagame is going to be pretty turbulent for a little bit. But I'm really excited. I think it should be really cool. So we're going to have to see how, like, when the dust is settled, we'll see which Pokemon are standing at the top. But, yeah, that's a very quick recap over the additions to the rules. I hope you enjoyed. I'll have more content on the specific Pokemon and how I rank them probably soon if you guys are interested in that. But, yeah, until tomorrow, I'll see you later. Goodbye.